I am recording this for just a moment of transparency with myself and, with my close friends. For a number of reasons. The first being that I feel like I haven't been able to, I for sure definitely have not talked in whole about my my birth experience, as well as postpartum struggles. Not necessarily depression or whatever, but yeah, postpartum depression and just life postpartum and everything. And today has kind of been, I'm not going to say rough, but because it has been, but it's not just today. It's been like this for, a while now, and it's just, I haven't really talked about it, not even to, in whole, I guess, in essence, to, my best friends. And I just, I feel like I really need to say this for me and for people to understand exactly what I'm going through. I'm pretty sure you can hear my child screaming in the background. Like I said, it's been a rough day. So my daughter is, she is clingy for sure, but also aside from that, I am not working right now, so I am just at home. And in essence, or honestly not in essence, just it's a fact that I'm doing this completely and utterly alone. And raising a child alone is hard. And a lot of people say that it can be done, and, they're single mothers and whatnot. And, a lot of the big difference from me and, other single parents or mothers or whatever is having some kind of a support system, whether that be family or friends, and, living close by, and just, being able to get away from their kid for a second, get a babysitter, something. And I don't know I know for a fact that it's not life happening to me. I know it's definitely happening for me, and whatever it is that I'm going through, it's going to make me stronger in the end. But I'm ready for it to be the end. I know, I love being a mom. I love my daughter. I know, it's a indescribable experience, but it is exhausting when you are doing everything or trying to do everything on your own. And, I even, expressing this a little bit, not even in whole, but like I said, I haven't talked to my, even my closest friends about this necessarily, but just even when people get upset when I say that I don't have a support system or whatever, that also makes me mad because, I don't have a support system. I don't have anybody that I can, that can come watch my daughter so that I can take care of myself, take care of the things that I need to take care of, much less having a day to myself. Having somebody to talk to isn't a support system. Having somebody, that I can vent to or whatever, it's cool. And I'm sure it's definitely necessary, but that's not what a support system is. I am, truly and utterly alone in this whole process of motherhood. I have family that don't live too far, and I can't rely on them for anything. You know what I mean? So, it's very sad to say. And, I don't really know how to navigate even expressing that to my family. Because it seems like the only way that they will support me or, will help me is if I decide to go to church. Like, my family's very religious, and I'm not. And they have, made it clear that they do want me to go back to church and do whatever. And it seems like me getting any kind of help from them is incumbent upon that. And that's not going to happen, because that's just not who I am. That's not who I've chosen to be. That's that's just my life decisions or whatever. And, nobody can control that. But, yeah. So for the most part, it seems like I, won't be getting help from family unless I go to church. Or, yeah. And then as far as her father goes, it's, it's almost like he does what he can, but also, it's still very much bare minimum. Like I said, my daughter lives with me full time. I don't get a chance. I haven't had, he hasn't had her in, I don't know how many months it's been since he's, taken her and had her overnight. Yeah, so maybe three or so months. Yeah, and it's just really tough. And I definitely appreciate the people that have, talked to me and given me advice and things like that. Especially the other single parents that have gone through something similar to what I've gone through or what I am going through. But it's just really, really hard. And, I get a lot of kudos because, I'm strong and I got this and, you're doing a great job and, that's great, but I need help. And, I don't know what to do, and I don't know who to ask, and I don't know how, to overcome certain things. And it just kind of seems like an uphill battle, and not even an uphill, but just like I'm stuck. And I'm, the type of person, I don't like feeling stuck. I don't like being backed into a corner or whatever. I'm definitely a flight type of person when it comes to that. If I'm stuck or whatever, I definitely want to run. And yeah, that's where I am, and I don't really know. I don't know who to talk to about that. I don't know how to get out of this. Not necessarily getting out of being a mother, because I love being a mother. I want more kids, but I'm just saying, like, getting out of this space where, I don't have the tools that I need to, survive, live. Because, yeah, like I said, I'm unemployed. I don't have a car. My mental health, I feel like, is taking definitely a turn for the worse, because I just feel completely and utterly alone. just feel like being transparent today. I hate, getting to such an emotional state and not being able to, or not necessarily not being able to, but just getting so mad that I think or do or say things, unreasonable things, and oh my god. Yeah, but the grind doesn't stop. I can't stop being a mom or I'll go to jail. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't take a break from mom duties, legally. And, the only break that I should be getting is from, my child's father, and I'm not getting that. And, I just, that's definitely something that I look for in, a future partner, is somebody that is going to be a team player and work with me instead of doing what they got to do to get what they want out of a situation, or not even get what they want, but not in a negative sense, but just feeling, I don't know, a certain way or whatever. Just, I feel like I haven't gotten real help in a very long time. And it's very unfortunate. I don't feel, I don't want to feel like a burden. I've never wanted to feel like a burden. That's kind of, been my thing, is I hate feeling like I'm a burden to people, and, I will quickly exit a situation if I do feel that way. And I feel like since this situation, my life right now, is a burden on myself, and that's, I feel like it would be a burden on anyone else. It's been hard for me to, like I said, find the way to ask for help. And, I take it when people offer, for sure. But, thank you for coming to my emotional venting session. Okay, yeah, love ya, bye.